I'll get some people sitting here too from the guests.
Awesome. Yeah. I know we have a few guests here in person, like Jorge and Matthias. And so feel free. And if you have any guests in person, you're welcome to sit here. And then any guests online. And then how do people get the recorded version of this?
We have a Google Drive. Send everyone.
They will get, thank you. I appreciate that. Someone said, I love your smile. Appreciate it. You're too kind. All right. Yeah. Feel free to come and join as well. Awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. So actually, this is like my ad hoc. I didn't totally come prepared, but I have a lot of background in vibe coding and building on-chain apps. So I'll just kind of walk through and it'll be super interactive. So at any point, you can stop me and we can, if you have any questions, we can talk through it. So I am going to act as if I'll teach you how to build an app with no coding experience. So even if I'm going to assume that most people have never coded, but you're slightly familiar with blockchains and apps, but you don't need coding experience. So here is a little bit of, in general, what I will be building today. It's called a mini app. And a mini app, actually, before I just totally jump into this, I'll show you a mini app. So I'll show you. So the app we're going to build out is something like this, where you have a little app. You can do different stuff with it and do different things. And this is called a little mini app. And I'm using Farcaster right here, where you can show off your cool little mini apps. And what's really cool about mini apps, and what are mini apps and what's cool about them, they're essentially super easy, lightweight web apps. They are designed for mobile. They don't need backends, and pretty much they pull all their data from public sources like a blockchain. And I'll explain how they do that. So has anyone here ever vibe coded an app? You can write a comment if you have it, or even just do a sign of a little emoji. Have you ever done it? Cool. Yeah. You can do a little woohoo, heart emoji. Sweet. So if you've ever vibe coded an app, maybe you've noticed that actually building the front end, the view of what the app looks, is pretty doable. You can do that with a few prompts. But building the back end of storing user data, storing information, that stuff is really difficult when you're vibe coding, because so oftentimes the models don't have full context about the back end, and you have to make a new back end for every single app. They can't really talk to each other, which is really frustrating. So one of the reasons I love vibe coding on-chain apps or blockchain-based apps is because you don't really need a back end. Really what you'll do is you'll have the back end is the blockchain, and you'll connect to the back end through apps. So essentially what it's going to look like is you're going to have a bunch of front-end apps, and they pull their data from a blockchain. So instead of pulling a user account from a database, you'll pull a wallet address, and that will be okay, Sophia's user is OX123. That's my wallet address, right? So that's something you can do from it, and you can pull all this data, which is really exciting. So if you're completely new, this lets you build a bunch of front ends on top of the same open blockchain data, which makes it really easy to build a whole suite of apps. So yeah, with that, I want to go ahead and jump into the tutorial. All right. So if you're completely new, I'm Sophia, and I lead developer relations at Celo. Celo is a layer 2 blockchain that's scaling Ethereum with real world use cases. And if you don't know what that means, because you don't know what blockchains are, you can think of Celo as a platform that you can build stuff with. And Celo is specifically designed for real world use cases. So one of our biggest, we're mainly known for our stablecoin wallets that are really popular in Africa and other areas in the global south. And what's great about those is they have a suite of mini apps. And so you can use a bunch of mini apps within that wallet. And there's 7 million activated wallets of people who use that wallet. So it's pretty large. And as a builder, and as a builder who creates mini apps in our ecosystem, you can tap into a giant global distribution network. So that's really cool, but you can think of it essentially as a platform to build things with. So yeah, so that's what Celo is. For building on Celo, also, if you want to check this out, this is just docs.celo.org if you want to follow along. So feel free to check that out. For actually building on Celo, you can go to Build on Celo on the tab, and I'll show you how to use the Celo MCP for vibe coding. So what this is, has anyone used Cursor before? Can you show a little like sign of hands if you've ever vibe coded with Cursor? What Cursor is, awesome, nice job, is your coding setup. So when you're actually coding, you'll have a setup, like your coding environment. And you can use a bunch of different coding environments, but Cursor is my favorite because within it, you can have a panel next to it with like ChatGPT or Claude or any of these AI tools that are in your, actually, I'll just pull it up so you can see. Let's see, present something else. I'll actually just show you. So this is what Cursor looks like. So you have like all of your code and all of your stuff, and then you can actually have ChatGPT, or you can use Claude. Here's where I'm using Claude, but you can use like GPT, you can use Cursor, yeah, their own stuff, all these different models where you can just like ask it questions and it answers it with all the context about your code and all of your code there. So if you're trying to use it straight in ChatGPT, it won't know your code, so it can't be that helpful. But within Cursor, it has all of the right context. I know some people mentioned that they want support setting up their environment and how do you actually get here. So I'll support you with all of that. So let's go back to this main screen. The next piece that you'll have is an MCP. This is kind of a newer concept, but this is the life hack for vibe coding anything. An MCP is a model context protocol. So what this means is if you've ever used ChatGPT and you ask it, if you try to ask it anything about blockchains and you go like, hey, how much money do I have in my wallet address? ChatGPT doesn't know. It's all of its data is based off of like what's on the internet, what it was trained on, all of this stuff. So it doesn't have context that's like very context specific, right? But an MCP gives a model, like a chat, like the model behind ChatGPT, the GPT model, it gives it context so that it can know specific information. So it can give it context about, like, for example, it can give it context to blockchain data. So here we have a Celo MCP that gives it context about the Celo blockchain. So it can say, hey, what's the latest transaction that just happened on Celo? And it will know. It'll say, hey, what are the different tokens on Celo? What does a smart contract do? What are the latest proposals that people put into Celo governance? And it will have all of that context already there, unlike ChatGPT doesn't have that right now. Is there a Celo testnet faucet? Yes, there is. There's a testnet faucet. And yeah, you can, so feel free. Yeah, you can just look up Celo testnet faucet and it should pop up. Yeah, and then, but yes, there is. So that's a little bit about a model context protocol. What I'll support you with today is how you can actually get started with using an MCP within Cursor, so that when you're coding, you can say, create an app on Celo, and it already knows how to pull up Celo. And then you'd be like, now make a NFT contract on Celo, and it will know how to do that. It'll have all of the context there, where if you're trying to just do that straight into Cursor, it's not going to know that context, and it's going to get really buggy, and it's going to get really tough. And it's really hard sometimes to code on-chain apps if you don't have all of that context connected. So because I know some people wanted to start from the very, very beginning, what you're going to do is you're going to download Cursor. I already have it installed, so I'm not going to download it. But if you're completely new, you're going to download this, and then you're going to open it up. And then what you should have is, once you open it up, you'll have a site that looks like this. So let me reshare my screen. Let's see. Oops. Trying to reshare my cursor screen. Okay, yeah. So then as you open it up, they'll have something that looks like this there. And that's going to be your IDE. This is your coding environment where you actually do some code. Now, in the top right, you're going to open up a terminal. So this is a terminal, new terminal, and this is what a terminal should look like. And if you don't know where that is, go to help and then type in terminal. And then here we have the AI pane, and I like using Claude for Sonnet. I think my opinion is this is the best model for coding and for debugging. So I would definitely recommend to use Claude, but personal preference for everyone else. I only use Claude though. So now let's go back to the Celo docs. These docs are going to say what you need to do to actually get Composer Kit inside of Cursor. So here it has MCP client integration, Cursor IDE setup. So you're going to copy this. It says pip install Composer Kit MCP, and you're going to copy this and paste it inside of Cursor. So I already did this, so I'm not going to reinstall. But what you're going to do is inside of your terminal, you're gonna say pip install that, and that's going to actually install it. I've already installed it, so I'm not gonna do that. And then what you're going to do as you're inside here, you're going to add a new MCP. So you're going to go to settings, and here on the left, you'll have all of these different tools, and you're going to say MCP, and then you're going to say add a new global MCP server. And you're going to open up this JSON file, and what you're going to do is you're going to paste the information that is here. So you're going to copy this information here, and you're going to paste it in, and then you're going to paste that into your file. So I'm going to post it there, and then bring it back to Cursor. So as you can see, I already did that, so I'm not going to do it right now, but that's what I'm going to do. You can tell that it's working because you'll have a little green dot next to it to show, and I'm going to just like refresh it and showing. But if you want to test it out, you could ask things like, what Composer Kit components are available? So I'm going to send that, and I'll tell you, here are the lists. So see how it's calling list components. If I were to just ask that randomly to a normal Claude 4 model, it won't know if it'll be like, what's Composer Kit? What are you talking about? But because I added this model context protocol into it, it knows, and it'll list out all the components. And so here it says, here you can do an address, a balance, identity, wallet, payment, swap, transaction, all of this cool stuff that you can do. So I'll tell you exactly what it's calling and how it works in a second. So Composer Kit is Celo's UI kit and UI library. And I'll show you if you want to learn a little bit more about Composer Kit and these are all the different components that it has. So this is our official Composer Kit UI library, and we have all of these different components like an address component, a balance component, identity, NFTs, payments, swaps, all of these different like UI components that interact with the blockchain. And so that's what this does. And the Composer Kit MCP is just a way that gives a model context about what the different components are, so that you can use those components as your vibe coding. So it's like a plug and play component library, which is really cool. Okay, so now let me go back to, and then the next thing I want to tell you about is Celo Composer. So Celo Composer is essentially a way, it's like a quick start of an app. So it essentially makes a fork. If you use Celo Composer, it makes a fork of this, which is a quick start dApp for you. So it has all of the right architecture already there. If you want to deploy contracts, do anything on chain, it's just like a quick start. If you've ever used scaffold.eth, it's like a lightweight version of scaffold.eth, but just for the Celo blockchain. So that's another thing that we have. And the MCP has all the context about this and can teach you how to use it too. Okay, so now let's get started into the fun stuff, the actual coding. Let's get ready. Okay, I'm gonna do this live. So this is gonna be it works. It's really nerve-wracking vibe coding live. Before you get started, if you're completely new and you've never done this before, what you're going to need is a wallet address on Celo. So I would install MetaMask. MetaMask So I'm assuming some people here have a little bit of familiarity with blockchain, but if you're this tutorial is supposed to be like completely new. I'm trying to act if you have like zero experience. You're gonna download MetaMask into your browser. You're going to open up and create a wallet. And then as you're in your wallet, you're gonna click add new net, and all of the instructions for exactly how to use that are all in our docs. So for example, like MetaMask, adding Celo to MetaMask. This is the exact steps if you need any specific examples. And you're going to open MetaMask, and then you're gonna click new network. And then inside the new network, you're gonna add Celo and Celo Alpha Juarez. So Celo is the Celo blockchain, so that's how you can connect to the Celo blockchain. Celo Alpha Juarez is a testnet blockchain. This means if you want to like test around on a fake copy of the Celo blockchain without like this is for testing and development purposes, you'll use Alpha Juarez, which is like a fake copy of Celo just for developers. So, and then this is how you can, thank you for posting all those links there. So this is how you can do it. And then if you actually need the network information, you'll post, here's where you can find all the network information, and you'll post that into MetaMask. So that's how you can create a Celo wallet. And then the next thing that you'll need to go to the Celo faucet. Again, it's right here under tooling. You'll have faucet, click on the faucet, and it'll open up a faucet. You'll add in your wallet address that you got from MetaMask, and you're gonna say, like, I'll just do it right now as an example. So I'm gonna paste in my wallet address, and then you're gonna claim some Celo, and then you'll get some Celo. And this is testnet token. So this is a way that you can get some free testnet Celo. Has no actual value, it's just a testnet, but now you have some testnet in there. So this is a prerequisite for if you're doing anything on chain. You're gonna need a little bit of Celo to actually deploy your contract, because it's gonna call that. So if you're curious, I actually have vibe code prompts on my personal GitHub that you can follow along as well. And my GitHub is Sodofi, SODOFI. And I have a repository called vibe coding prompts. And then in it, I have a Celo Composer Kit MCP example if you want to follow along on this exact tutorial. So that's what I did. I installed the MCP as you saw there, and then I installed the MCP into Cursor as we went along. I'm going to be using Claude for Sonnet inside of Cursor. And then the last step is adding testnet tokens to your Celo wallet on Alpha Juarez. All right, so I did all of that. And now here's my actual, woohoo. Here's the actual caption prompt. Well, this will be my first prompt. So I'm going to just read it through so that you know exactly what I'm doing. It says, build a Celo app using Celo Composer starter and the Composer Kit library. So Celo Composer is that template, and then Composer Kit are the UI components that we're using. The app should use Hardhat for smart contract development. If you're completely new and you don't know what Hardhat is, ChatGPT it, Google it, just so you can familiar yourself. But it's essentially, it's an environment that you can deploy smart contracts, which is instructions for a blockchain. So it's like logic that you can store on the blockchain backend. And then we're going to be deploying a ERC20 contract. So if you ever heard of a token, like a cryptocurrency token, like ETH or whatever, these are ERC20s. And what that means is they're just a token. They have rules about them that are all written on a smart contract. And we're going to be writing our own ERC20 token. So what it's going to do is it's going to use Celo React components. So it's going to come from Composer Kit to design the UI. Make sure the UI is mobile friendly because we want it to be a mini app. You're going to use the following layout. We're going to use a connect wallet button to connect to Composer Kit, an input to specify that they want to mint the token, a button to mint the token, a display of the token balance, and then we're going to integrate everything using WAGMI. This is a way for your front end to, if you're using React, to actually connect with a blockchain. VM and Hardhat for contracts, make the folder structure compatible. So this is all the instructions. Again, if you don't know what this is and you're completely new, just paste this into ChatGPT and Google it to just understand what these tools are, so you're kind of familiar with what's happening. But we're going to take that, and now we're going to go into Cursor, and I am going to, yep. So let's see. Okay. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Yep. Thank you for that. I need to share my screen. Present window. Where did this screen go? Okay. Cool. I'm back here. All right. So you're gonna be inside of okay, sorry. If anyone, or if you're not familiar with terminal commands, CD lets you get into a new folder within your project, but you don't need to use the terminal. You can also just go into your Finder and then like find where you want to create the project. But I'm inside of a project called Code, as you can see here. But yes, so I'm going to paste this prompt that we have here. And I'm going to use Claude 4. And this is always where the fun magic happens because you don't know what it's going to do. I'm just kidding. So here's what's happening is it's going to create a new, it's going to make a new project, a new folder called Celo token DApp, and then it's going to get inside of that. So run command. Okay. And then now it's going to initialize a new project using Celo Composer. Like that's the, as I mentioned earlier, that Celo Composer is that, the template that we're going to use. And then it's going to use Hardhat. It's going to do that. So let's see, has some errors, but what I really like Claude 4 is it can go through the errors and kind of figure it out a lot better than Claude 3.5 or other ones. All right, I'll create a Celo project with the MiniPay template and Hardhat. So MiniPay is a wallet on our ecosystem, and we have different templates that already exist with it. And so it's going to say name, token, Celo developer, template MiniPay. All right, so it created a new file. And now it's going to be in here. I see the project is created in a subdirectory. Let me navigate to it. Okay, there we go. So it's navigating all to your directory. Okay, and then let's see. This is always the, okay, run command. Okay, I'm going to show you what's actually, let's set up the environment variables and set up the Hardhat directory. Okay, so now it's going to set up environment variables, install Composer Kit and other files. And yeah, install Composer Kit components to the React app.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Maybe the point to here, but
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
yeah, the MCP is feeding all of this information for Cloud there, right?
Yes, exactly. So Composer Kit, Celo Composer, and knows all of that information because of the MCP. So one of the important things is within your prompt, make sure you're calling, saying Composer Kit or Celo Composer so that it knows it's flagging those keywords for it. So it knows exactly what's happening there. And now it's making this up. Okay. And it's adding it all. So it kind of takes a while. And then if you're curious how to actually, yeah. Oop. There's always the awkward part during demos as everything's installing. Maybe this is a good time to ask any questions. If anyone has any questions, if you want me to go over anything, feel free to ask as we wait for all of this to install. Any questions from our audience?
I see some people joined it in the last minute too. Just to give a point of situation, we are having a workshop from Sophia on how to use Celo's MCP server for vibe coding with Cursor. Super good content.
Yay. Yeah, thanks for having me. All right. Where did she go? I lost everything. There we go. All right. It's still taking a while to install. So what I'm going to do is on another tab, I'll actually open up. Let's see. So on another app, I'll actually open up the code. So I'll just like walk you through the code so far. Oops. Oh. Let me file, open folder, and then, okay. I'm gonna open this so that you can see what it is so far. So here I have, in my packages, I have a React app, which is gonna be the front end. And then I have Hardhat, which is essentially the back end for how it's connecting to the blockchain. Inside this, I have this minipay.sol contract that it created. And it's going to continue to do this. It has an ENV template here. Wait, am I sharing the right screen? Yeah, right. Oh, wait, but you can't see what .env because it's, wait, am I showing the right screen?
We go into the example of this.
Yeah, why is it? Yeah, I see that. Why is it? Am I left online? Okay, let's see why it's like that. Oh, there we go.
Whole screen right.
Yep, I'm sharing the wrong part. I have 3 cursor terminals open. Okay, present something else. There we go. Okay.
Now we can see it.
Now we can see it. So here is the actual code of what it looks like. We have, if you want to get a high level overview, React, which is our front end, and then Hardhat, which will have our smart contracts in it. And then in here, you have this like minipay.sol contract that it created for us. Cool. So let's see. Let me just check back in with cursor. See how it's going. Okay. And then, great. So now it's going to create an ERC20 token. Why don't I just share my whole screen so that you can see what I'm looking at? Okay, let me just reshare my whole screen so I don't have to. Okay, now I'm back here. I made myself tiny. All right, so in case, yeah, so what's happening is it's gonna create an ERC20 contract called, create file, accept. And then as you can see here, it's creating this Celo token.sol new contract, and it's empty right now. Now it's filling it up with a new contract using Open Zeppelin, which is great. And so it's creating a new contract. Now we're going to do run command within this Hardhat. Yay. And as you can see, it's installing. Great. Now it's creating a deployment script for the contract. And then stuff, it shouldn't actually deploy because I didn't add my env variables yet, so it shouldn't actually work. But we'll test it out. But it's going to create the script for us for the Celo token. And then I'll have it pause just so we can pull up what we have. And sorry, this whole setup takes a long time. I always forget how long it takes. But yeah, in case you're new, what exactly is happening is it's creating a contract in using Hardhat. So that's creating a Solidity contract for you. So this is like the Celo token. And then what you're going to actually need is you need a deployment script. And this is actually the script that you use to deploy it and put it on the blockchain. And so that's a little bit how it works.
Is it possible to deploy locally before doing testnet?
Yes. Yeah. So you can deploy. So I'll show you a little bit what that looks like. Okay. Let me just change my window now. Okay. Okay. So yes, so you can deploy all locally before. What I'll do is let me open up my panel, and then yeah, I think new terminal. What I'll do is I have a new terminal. Okay, I'll say run my app locally. Okay, I'll just do this, and I just want to see what it's going to do. But typically what I do, because I'm trying to do it fully vibe coding, is you can go to the README, and it's going to tell you exactly what to do. So it's going to say, do npm I install, do npm run dev, and then it's going to open up an app that you can do. But because we're doing for the purpose of vibe coding, oh, the screen share will be larger. Got it.
Well, let me go.
Cool. How is this? Is it better? Looks bigger. Cool.
You can increase the zoom.
Yeah, I'll also increase the zoom. Great idea. Great thinking. Okay, so now it's going to tell you, as you can see, it's going to say yarn install, which is the right stuff. And typically when you run it first time, there's no way it's going to work. It'll be a miracle, but you take the errors and you paste it back in, and you'll keep going back and forth. But that would be a miracle if it works. But this is going to give you a way that you can just at least see what your app is, and then you can better prompt engineer it by knowing, by knowing what's wrong, what's not working well, and just getting an idea of it. So as you see, it says yarn install, or you do npm install, and then the next thing it's probably going to say is npm run dev. I wish you could like speed up how everything installs when you're doing like live demos. But yeah, but it's fun.
I've seen Marcus and Kevin, they run two things at the same time. They vibe code, and then they discuss some other topics. Sometimes they just banter around it because you've got to wait like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you have to wait so long for things to do. It's a great idea. Maybe while things install, we can do question time. If you're ever.
I was telling them someday a boy is going to get rich by doing vibe coding and Minecraft
At the same time. That's a great idea. Oh, actually, it looks like this one's almost done, but when the next time it takes a while to install, I'll tell you how you can get rich through vibe coding and then submitting it through a hackathon and making some money. So I'll tell you exactly how you can do that. And yeah.
Yeah, if there are any open hackathons or call to actions you want to do.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you. Celo has a monthly hackathon every single month. We have a program called Proof of Ship, and you can find out about it. I think it's also on our docs. Let me confirm. On the build on Celo, we have like fund your project. And then, yeah, and then you can see Proof of Ship and then sign up. Yeah, so that's here, I'll send it to you guys too. Fund your project, and then there's like a Notion in there with all the information, but right now you can just sign up on Lemonade, and that's what it is. All right, it's still building all of our packages. It's the first time building, so it kind of takes a really long time, but yeah, yay. Okay, great. Dependencies are installed. Yay, finally. Now I need to set the environment variables. Let me check if the template exists and create the environment variables. It's going to, I'll create, yep, that is correct. What you're going to do here is, I don't want to do this on screen while it's filming, but you're going to take your, in MetaMask, you're going to say, show me your private key. I like to do your private key. I never do mnemonic, which is going to be your whole seed phrase. It's going to be words. Private key is a bunch of numbers. Always connect your private key, not your mnemonic. I can't say that because private key, if it gets hacked for some reason, you only lose access to that one wallet. Your mnemonic, I can't say that word. If that gets hacked for some reason, you use access to all your wallets that are connected that way. So just to be safe, only use your private key and then use a dummy wallet. That means only use a wallet that you're using just for development. Don't use your personal wallet. Never connect your personal wallet to any apps that you're doing. Only connect a dummy wallet. Errors in my config file. So it looks like, but Claude 4 is smart. So hopefully it can fix that for me. And we'll keep doing that. Accept all, accept all. I wish we could just auto accept. In the meantime, I'll tell you a little bit about Celo's proof of ship. Essentially, what you can do is you can apply with a new project or an old project. And yay. Okay, deployed. Which it's definitely not a real, I think it's doing a local Hardhat thing because I didn't connect. If you connect your actual seed phrase or private key and stuff, it can deploy it on Alpha Juarez. Right now it's deploying on a fake Hardhat node just to get it to run locally.
It's really smart.
It's really smart. Yeah, it knows how to do a lot of this stuff. Claude 4 works so much better for me than 3.5, which is what I used to use, and I would get super stuck anytime I'd run it. And now,
this would be the part that if you're not technical, you will get kind of stuck. But now using the MCP server and the correct models, you can get through it like butter.
exactly. Cool. So, yay. Done. Front end is not opening. Great. Now open the app, the local host environment for me. So typically I would just run npm run start, but for the purposes of having it fully vibe coded, oh, it says I don't have the ability to directly open your browser. Okay, so it's gonna tell me navigate to localhost. So you're gonna open that up. Oh no, it's in my terminal. Where is that? And then I'll click on this link. Okay, I'll show you what it opened up for me. Ta-da! Okay, there we go. So now it has, there you go, a canvas for your next mini pay project. So this is what it'll open up for you when you click on localhost, and this is what you should see. You'll see a classic thing on it, and then you can do some different actions like send, sign a message, or mint an NFT. But for this, I want, let's say I want to, let's say like, I'm gonna go back to here, and just for fun, it's like a last thing. I just want you to see what it's like. I'm gonna say, oop, am I in the right? Okay. So here, I'm gonna say, I want you to edit the front end to use the Composer Kit UI identity component. So now I'm going to add a little identity component at the top. This card will show my wallet address and other social identity fields. Okay, let's see what happens. And it should know what that is. Let me open this so you can see it bigger about what it's saying. Composer kit. Calling MCP tool, see that right there? Search components. So it's going to be like, what's the identity component? It's going to search the components. Let me get the component examples. It's going to say get component. Now let me check the layout to see how the app is structured. So now it's going to go through all of your code. And then give it a little bit of time. So now it's like reading it all. And this is how you can use the MCP to have custom components in it that are, that already interact with Celo and do different things like that on Celo. So definitely, this is a cool one to use. It's taking a little bit, but it should edit and it should update it. So yeah, so see how it uses the components and it's coming from the UI library and it has all of this different information. Identity component added. And now let's see, accept it all. Okay, I'm going to show you on my local host. Ta-da! Now I got this identity component there. And in case you're curious, this is the identity component that comes from. It's the same from here, as you can see. So it's the same. This is Composer Kit. This is the identity component. And then now here it has this, this information. Oh, it just went away. Why did it go away? But it was there. You all saw it. No, now it's getting stuck. I'm just kidding. Oh, there we go. It takes a second to load. Cool. I had to refresh it. And so that's what it looks like. So you could do the same thing with other components, like a swap component, a different one. And then the actual on-chain interaction, it's sending a token that's happening. And as you can see, I used Hardhat to actually install the token, to actually create a token address and deploy a smart contract. If I'm going to be totally honest, if you're completely new to coding and development, I would not write your own smart contracts. Instead, what I would do is I would go to thirdweb.com/explore, and I would use these to do a no-code contract deployment. So you can have all, so for example, you know how I just coded that ERC20 contract? Instead of coding that, I would just find, where's the ERC20? Like, oh, there you go. Here's the token contract with an ERC20 standard. And as you can see, what's the actual, equal contracts. And then the way that you can, I need to connect my wallet. Confirm, sign in, verify, confirm. Try again, sorry. And this is a way that you can actually deploy a contract all with no code. Thirdweb's great for that. And so you can go, oh, let me go back to the Explore page. So here's the best place for Web3 developers to deploy a contract all with one click. It really is like one click. So you go here, you go here and you click on deploy now, and you'll name your contract. You'll say like MiniPay token or something, MiniPay token, MIPA or something. Do I have a comment? Or let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. And then cookbook.dev, yeah, that one's great. And all this stuff. And then it can deploy something for you. You make sure it's on Celo because all of it works on Celo. You'll deploy it. And then it'll pop up how to deploy a contract. And then it'll be like view contract, yay! And now you'll have your contract. And you can see it on Celo scan. If you want to see, you can see your actual contract, look at it, look at the code. And as you can see, it's kind of similar. It's using Open Zeppelin. It's using the same kind of files. Has this stuff. But what I like about these is they're already audited. You can trust that they're good contracts. Sometimes when you vibe code, you can get hacked. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but good for experimenting. But if you're going to put something to production, I would definitely, and if your first time and you've never written smart contracts before, I would definitely recommend to use an existing contract like that. All right. So finally, the last thing that I will tell you is now how to get paid. Okay. So as I showed you, I posted that lemonade of signing up for proof of ship. So what you're going to do is you're going to sign up for proof of ship. And if you don't know where that is, go to Celo Docs. We'll make it the link easier to do, but it's every month. And then I have this on there. We have this like proof of ship, and this is like our one pager about what is proof of ship, but you can sign up every month. And you can find the latest proof of ship here. You're going to request to join and you're going to sign up. Once you sign up, it's going to tell you to create a profile on Karma Gap. So it's going to teach you, let's see, like, let's see, share this tab. So it's you're gonna get an email, or actually I'll just walk you. So actually, yeah, let me just, oh my goodness. Okay, am I sharing? Okay, so it's gonna say how to participate, create a project on Karma Gap. And then it's going to say, add the tracks you're applying for, and then register here on Lemonade to officially enter. I have a video. But what you're going to do is you're going to apply on Karma Gap, and essentially you're going to set up a profile. So here's like a guide that is going to tell you exactly step by steps. You're going to set up a project profile now. So I already have a few different projects that I made. So it's like, here's my like a test project. And then you're going to join proof of ship from here. You're going to go to funding. And then you can even go, funding, and then you can say add, and then you're going to click on proof of ship. So that's how you can add it. And then one of the important things, let's see, add. Okay, I don't know why it's not bringing it for me. One of the important things is on your project, you can add your contract addresses. So earlier, as I showed you, how you just deployed a contract address on Thirdweb. You're going to take this contract address that you just deployed, copy it, and then on your project, you're going to you can add different information about your project. And then, so I'll be like, edit project, add project links. I'll make sure, actually, where is that? Link contracts right here. Link contracts, and this is going to be on Celo, and then my contract address is this, and save all. So that contract address is how we track your project's impact. I will warn for this specific hackathon, we mainly look at mainnet, so you'd want to deploy on mainnet, not on Alpha Juarez, not on testnet. But it's okay if it's on testnet. But show that contract address that you did, and we'll look at how many transactions happened on that contract, how much activity, and that's how we determine who wins the prize money, who gets rewards, and stuff like that. So that's essentially how you can start earning money from your apps. And you can submit as many apps as you want to proof of ship. You can submit 10 apps, or whatever it is. Just make sure you you link your contracts. And yeah, and so that's all. Thank you. That was like an hour.
Wonderful. And you don't even need you to like study for months now. You can just vibe code your way in and deploy a smart contract. You're good to go.
Yay, exactly. Just vibe code in, and exactly what you said. You can start getting paid for building already. And yeah, proof of ship is a great way to get support from the Celo ecosystem. I'll personally can help you out and support projects. You can see what other projects people are building. A lot of the code is open source, so you can learn all about like how to other projects, how they're building. I use Vercel, however you want to say it. So what I would do is I'd go to GitHub, I'd create a new repository, and then I would add all my code to that repository. And then on Vercel, VERCEL, you can just say add a GitHub repository and connect it, and it'll instantly make a website for you. So I can also do that. Fun fact, I made a whole tutorial on all of this. It's a video. I'll post it on YouTube soon. So you can see exactly how I use that. I don't use Coolify just because I have all my websites already on Vercel. So I like having them all in one place, but it's totally up to you. It doesn't totally matter.
Nice alpha. When that YouTube video is being released?
I already have it. I just need to get permissions to the Celo YouTube account to add it. So I haven't gotten a chance yet because I don't have the right login info. But maybe by tonight, I'll send it to you guys. But you can follow me on Twitter at Sadofi_. I'll paste it, x.com/Sadofi_, or DM me on Telegram at Sadofi, or follow me on Farcaster at Sophia. So even easier, you forget. All of them, I'll be posting all these tutorials on my social media accounts, so you can follow along and see.
Wonderful.
Yay.
Wonderful session.
Oh my God, I'm so glad. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Well, people, that was a great one. Just a quick reminder, we have season 6 open for Artisan. If you haven't submitted your project yet, make sure to check it there. The earlier you submit your project, the more votes you have. Last season was crazy. We had more than like 50,000 votes at the end. So make sure you prepare yourself early, you submit early so that you maximize your chances, okay? And that's it. Thank you all for participating. We're finalizing today. And next Tuesday, we keep building on with Kevin Jones using the token API for us to explore more. If you want to check the Sneha workshop that would be today, it's going to be in the July 3rd. Look there in the calendar, you're going to find it there, okay? I'm going to get this recording, and you should all find it there in the Google Drive. Thank you, everyone, for participating.
Hey,
Thank you, Sophia.
of course.
It's amazing.
Yeah.